Would you please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can we please have roll call?
Yes, you may. Councilmember Shacker.
Here.
Councilmember Perkins.
Here.
Councilmember Phillips.
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty.
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong.
Here.
Vice Mayor Granillo is absent. Mayor Miller.
Here.
And our town attorney is present remotely tonight.
All right. Introduction, presentation, proclamations. We have any? We don't have any. Call the public.
Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is at the discretion of the council and not required by law. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Yielding of time will not be permitted. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated. This includes loud outbursts, profanity, and disruptive discussions among our audience. Mayor, I do have a couple of comment cards. First is Vicki Neasley.
Good evening.
Hello. Hi, good evening. I am here to talk about the aggregate mine off of Road 5 yet again. Today, I just want to tell you a little bit about one of my neighbors. He lives on top of the hill. He's been very ill. He's been hospitalized, and I have a lot of concerns for him because where he lives is past the mine site, just off of Spruce. And number one, he's unable to sell his home because of the mine. He's trying to because he needs to be closer to medical care. And number two, the road that goes past the mine and to his home in spots is only 12 feet wide. So if there is a need for emergency services, there's not even going to be room enough for 2 vehicles to pass in that area. Again, I know that we're in the county, but if there is anything you guys can think of, we're happy to listen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Jerry Bolins.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm talking about why Chino Valley residents and the council should care about what's now being called the Chino Mine. Now it's going to bear your name, the name of Chino Valley. Last meeting I spoke about concerns over the groundwater, but appropriately after seeing a Chino post today about the roads and improvements that Chino intends to do, I thought this was appropriate. Today I'd like to talk about the road damage, traffic, and safety. A lot of attention has been given to Road 5 that will be severely damaged due to heavily aggregate loaded trucks. However, the goal of these trucks, who likely get paid by the load, are to transport quickly. With no roundabout on Road 5 North, where might they go? When Road 5 floods, which it does every monsoon, which route will they choose? Road 4 with a roundabout and a bridge? Road 3 with a light? Will they use multiple routes on Chino roads? Roads shared by pedestrians, bicyclists, school children, and more. Residential streets, perhaps by your house. How safe will that be for Chino Valley residents? I think we all know the answer to that. What will be done to assure the safety of Chino Valley roads? I read recently that Highway 89 will soon be widened from Road 3 North to Road 5 North, torn up for who knows how long. Where will the trucks go then? I believe this will certainly compound the concerns I previously spoke about times 10. Expensive road damage passed on to the residents, traffic on residential roads, and unsafe conditions on our neighborhood streets. This is a very bad situation for Chino, and I think it deserves your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Jim Bonetti.
Good evening.
Yeah, I've been in touch with the city here now for, I don't know, since about June, maybe July, to get one of my neighbors to mow his weeds. They're about 6 feet high now. And every time I come in, there's some new deal that they're going to give this fella. And I don't understand why it takes so long. But Will tells me that the guy's getting a citation tomorrow. But then again, how long does the guy have to react after tomorrow, you know, with the citation? And what's the citation do anyway? I don't know. So I'm kind of hoping that the city can maybe modify the rules because they're not working, and get, you know, people to do the duty on their property. All of my neighbors mow their weeds, and they take care of things. I take care of mine all the time. And this fella just doesn't want to do it. Looks like he wants to, he's putting a septic system in next door. I don't know if he's got a permit or not, but I know he didn't want to go back there with a tractor because the tractor will get stuck in the damn ditches. And so I was kind of hoping that maybe somebody could put a little pressure on to finally take care of the doggone thing. Everybody else does, you know. So I'd like to see this privileged character get taken care of. That's it for me.
Thank you very much.
I got to hear about this mine, though.
Next, I have Paul Lenhart.
Good evening.
Yeah, I live in the county.
Sir, please speak in the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much. Just so people can hear at home.
Okay. Yeah. I live in the county. This mine also affects the town of Chino Valley residents near the mine and throughout the community. Here are some issues the town of Chino Valley will be exposing their residents to. Crushing activity and processing of aggregate stone materials, including blasting, hauling, produces an invisible toxin particulate called crystalline silica, which can cause silicose and other serious health risks. Crystalline silica is a human carcinogen based on sufficient evidence listed in the 6th annual report of the carcinogens in 1991. Silica dust can easily travel 5 miles with the prevailing winds here in Chino Valley. Long-term exposure can result in reduced lung function, respiratory disease such as asthma, COPD, autoimmune disease, pulmonary tuberculosis, rheumatoid arthritis, lymphoma, and mortality. Road 5 Yuma and Reed roads would be the 3 major roads traveled in and out of the mine leading to the final destinations. Overall, these roads are located physically close to the houses near the mine. Due to the daily heavy dump truck traffic with the mine, residents will be exposed and increased noxious gases and air pollution due to the additional truck traffic. Truck traffic significantly impacts air quality even beyond a 5-mile radius. Daily emissions of diesel exhausts from hundreds of gravel trucks generate nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, VOCs that can lead to chronic respiratory problems and even the risk of cardiovascular disease. One final impact created by the mine is called like public nuisance effect. For those people unfortunate enough to live near the mine, includes disturbances with the diesel truck traffic, blasting, loud noises from the crushing and screening process. Also keep in mind the mine plans to operate 24 hours a day. So much for the quiet and nighttime, peace and quiet in the nighttime dark skies. The general consensus from Yavapai County Board of Supervisors representatives, including you, the town of Chino Valley, state due to lack of jurisdiction, although we do feel sorry for the people of Cedar Heights, we cannot do anything because our hands are tied. I have something that this township could do. Local government bodies have procurement plans and policies for financial spending and contracts. Purchasing aggregate would fall under the town's procurement plan. Is this town's procurement plan available for the public on the official website? Example, Yavapai County Board of Supervisor policy states Yavapai County reserves the right to reject all
Sir.
all proposals.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
you're out of time.
I'm way over. Oh,
You're
you
done.
can't. Oh, okay. Had to come back.
Thank you.
Let's come back next month. Wow, you can't get much done in three minutes.
And the next I have Chris Johnson.
Hello, Mayor.
Hello.
Hello, Mayor and Council. I'm a resident here in Chino Valley for a little over 8 years. Of course, I'm a California transplant, and my primary occupation is an environmental engineer for mining companies. And most of my customers are in California. I have 27 mine sites that I'm currently a consultant for, and I've been involved with writing rules for quite a few air districts in California. And my specialty is dust. And I do, on a daily basis, work with mining operations, California, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and a couple up in Utah. And I have 27 mine sites I'm responsible for. So my biggest thing that I do is help industry to work with the public in taking care of these dust issues, coming up with wind screening, surfactants for the water spray, high pressure water sprays on the equipment, and coming up with all the testing that goes along with that too. So I'm putting myself out on the table. If I can help the public, and if I can work with the city council and work with the mine and probably help in this, it'd be my pleasure to do so.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Those are all the comment cards I had submitted.
All right. Okay, moving on. Current events, summaries, and reports. Status by mayor and council regarding current events. I don't have anything right now. Tom?
Yeah, I just returned from the Rural Transportation Summit down in Yuma. It's 102 degrees down there, don't go there. Fortunately, I was inside most of the time, but we kept Chino Valley at the top of the schedule. The Central Yavapai Metropolitan Planning Organization is putting forth the first project to the state that they want completed is the widening and improvements of Highway 89 from Road 3 North to Road 5 North, including what ADOT refers to as a safe intersection at Road 5. We don't know whether that'll be a roundabout, whether it be a turn lane, whether it be a stop sign, a stop light. We don't know at this point, but they are going to put it forward, and hopefully the state will give us some money to do so. Also, on your way out this evening, would you please go out the south entrance and hit the new flags that were put up to honor the 5 services? That is due to the diligence. Oh, it's 6 now. I forgot the Space Force. I'm sorry. They're part of the Air Force. But I'd like to thank the mayor and the town for doing all they could to bring those signs over here when we lost our other location alongside the highway. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
I'm glad to see Terry back. Welcome back.
Yeah, really.
Sherry?
Bob?
All right. Mrs. Manager?
Thank you, Mayor, Town Council. Just a couple of things. I'm glad to have Terry back, too. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, October 25th, our town clerk is going to have her potential candidate open house. So it's an opportunity for anyone, any town resident who's considering running for office to learn about the process of becoming a council member. So if you're interested, please sign up. It's not too late, and come out. I did want to mention that there is a meeting with Attorney General Mays. She's holding that on Friday night, the 27th, at Heritage Middle School, and it's from 5:30 to 7, I believe. And that's an opportunity for people to come out and talk about the mine with the Arizona agencies that hopefully can help them out. So if you're interested in that, go out and see our Attorney General. And last but not least, we have our trick-or-treating event at Memory Park that Saturday, October 28th, and that's going to be from 2 to 6 p.m. It's a great family event, so bring the kids or the big kids out and enjoy some family time. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, consent agenda. Would any council member like to remove anything or the item from the consent agenda? No? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda item A.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action items. Public hearing, consideration and possible action regarding the Homestead subdivision preliminary plat.
Good evening, Mayor
Good evening.
All right, to let
and
the
fellow
newbie up.
council members. How are you tonight? My name is Jessica Berrigan. I'm a senior planner here for the Development Services Department. And before you this evening is a request for a preliminary plat, case item number PP2023-02 for the Homestead subdivision. This lot configuration was brought to you earlier this year under a separate case number, PP2023-01, where the Planning Commission forwarded a recommendation for approval to the Town Council, resulting in a tie vote, and thus the motion died. The applicant has returned with a minor plan change, increasing the landscaping along Road 1 West, as well as evidence of their assured water supply. The applicant is in attendance this evening. The 20-acre subject property is located on the northeast of the intersection of West Road 3 South and South Road 1 West. The property is located south of an existing slaughterhouse. The subject property was rezoned in January of this year from residential 5-acre minimum, AR5, to single-family residential 1-acre minimum, SR1, and effectuated via the passage of ordinance number 2023-931. The surrounding area is AR5 with Yavapai County jurisdiction to the west and multiple family residential and mobile home park directly to the north. In front of you is the proposed configuration that the applicant is proposing tonight. As you can see in front of you, this is essentially the same request that came to you before to create the new Homestead subdivision. The project does consist of 15 individual 1-acre parcels, all of which the applicant is requesting to be serviced by well and septic. And the increased landscaping buffer is highlighted in green for you on the west boundary of the subdivision. In addition to the general advertisement for this evening's regular meeting, notices were sent by U.S. Postal Service directly to the property surrounding the site within a 400-foot radius. As mentioned earlier, there is a slaughterhouse located to the north of the subject property. The applicant has agreed to include odor and noise disclaimers on the front page of the final plat, as well as a required acknowledgement to be signed by the buyers. A full technical review by staff shall be completed prior to the final plat being brought to you and heard at a later date. Earlier this month, on October 3rd, the Planning and Zoning Commission forwarded a recommendation for approval to the Town Council, subject to the conditions of approval found in your packet and in the following slides. Staff does support the Planning and Zoning Commission's decision and also recommends that the Town Council make a motion to approve the preliminary plat, PP 2023-02, subject to the conditions found in Attachment A. The conditions mentioned earlier are to adhere to the town codes and the rules, the disclaimers on the final plat, the waiver of claims, which the applicant has already completed, and a developer will Developers will also include the disclaimers for an acknowledgement that the new buyers will sign. As mentioned, there will be a technical review prior to bringing the final plat to you. Here it elaborates, and you can also see that in your packet. I'm available for any questions, and the applicant is also here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glad to see you at the podium. Nice job.
Thank you.
Could you please go back to the preliminary plat map?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Where it says Future Road 3 South, is that going to be a dedicated easement? That's just randomly in the future going to be there?
In front.
On the west boundary?
Yes.
I'm looking at south.
South
South boundary.
Oh, sorry.
The southern boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Future Road 3 South.
40 foot. To be, says right there, to be dedicated to the town of Chino Valley. See it?
Yes. I believe that is part of Public Works and Engineering's comments.
Do you not see it, Dan?
Where are we looking at this?
On the southern boundary.
My glasses appointment is on the 31st. It's true. I'm excited.
So while Amy's studying, does anybody on this, my left here, have a question?
I just have a question for Mr. Marbury. So you had to come all the way from the back of the class to the front.
I'm just seeing the one entrance, one exit stuff.
I just had a bet if I could make you walk up here.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Two questions. The first one is that dedication on 3 South. That's a dedication from this property owner to you once it's done, right?
Yes, this is a dedication for the potential for a future road.
Right.
We don't have plans at this time to make any connections of that roadway, but what it does is give the town the opportunity to already obtain that right of way for any future use.
Understood. That's fine. And then this project, one way in, one way out. In your experience, is that an issue and is that unusual? Or are there a lot of developments out there that have this similar pattern?
For a small number of lots like this, it's not unusual.
Is there anything concerning from your point of view about a single way in, single way out?
I would always prefer to have 2 entrances to any development or even an apartment complex, no matter the size, because you could always have, for some reason, an entrance blocked in case of emergency and have another way out. So it's always preferable, but again, dealing with however many lots, 15 lots.
So this isn't an outlier.
No, we've got other areas around town like this. It's, again, I'd rather not, but
I understand that. No, the preference is always better. I understand that. But I'm just trying to get the point, because I've heard others speak, and I've heard it before, that there was a lot of concerns about one way in, one way out. But I'm like, but that's not unusual in any community, because I've seen a lot of places where they had one way in for this size.
right. Typically, once we get about 30 or more, we
Okay.
pretty much require 2 ways in. I think fire codes come into it, so it's not
Right.
just town codes, it's the fire district involved as well.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I have one for you, Frank. About the utility poles that are on the exit and the entrance. And it stated in here that they should be underground. And you said you would check on that?
Right. At planning and zoning, the question came up, and I was not quite sure if those were transmission lines or not, but those are transmission lines. And so the only time they would be required to be moved is if they interfered with the roadway improvements.
So they're going to be right at the exit and entrance? They have to go around them?
Unless they interfere with the roadway improvements, then we would require those to be relocated to be out of the way of the roadway.
Okay, thank you.
And transmission lines are very expensive to move.
That would be on the developer's dime.
Right. To either redesign the entrance to avoid the poles or to work with the power company to relocate those poles. But in no way would that be at the town's expense.
Thank you.
Question, John or Tom? Nope. Annie?
Well, can I get a pass? Can you come back to me?
Yeah, no problem.
I want to know about the water. That's what
Okay.
that's where my question is the water.
Okay. You want me to answer any questions on that, Mayor?
If you
or-
want to, if you can.
Yeah, if you want to. I just figured you were the wrong person to ask.
No, I can.
Okay.
If not,
Yes, they
the
have the-
applicant's water resources expert, I think, is here as well.
Perfect. Even better.
So whichever one you want to hear from.
Let's hear from the
The applicants.
applicants.
Okay.
Nothing else
So
for
say that
staff?
Oh, I'm
then?
sorry.
No,
Sorry, Mayor.
That's okay. Nothing else for staff. All right, thank you, Frank. Here he comes.
Mayor, council, councilwoman, my name's Jim Holt. I'm here to represent the client with respect to water resources. I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. So, we heard in the presentation that you have acquired an assured water supply certificate. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the water quality, has that been tested?
It has been.
And what were the results of that?
The water quality at the site was good for everything other than arsenic. As you recall, the arsenic limit is 10 parts per billion.
Mm-hmm.
And the water sample that we obtained from a well that we drilled on the site was 11 parts per billion.
Okay.
So what the developer has agreed to do is to test each well as they're drilled on site. And if there is any overage with respect to arsenic and a number of other chemicals as well, then we will install a whole house filtration system for each one of the lots.
Thank you. Can we be asked that that be written into the preliminary plat
I believe it is. Is it not?
as a condition? I did not see it.
I'll have to look it up, but I believe it is.
Pull the conditions back up. There we are.
Will, is that included as one of the conditions?
Here comes Frank.
I could add that it is a condition that's within the CCNRs for the project.
That's where I saw it.
And
Okay.
if I may, is it also a condition from the state agency that those be inspected on an annual basis? I think Mark was telling me that, or is that incorrect information?
I'm unaware that that's the
Okay.
case, but if it is, then we'll do it.
Yeah, any stipulations of the certificate, they will need to follow those as well.
May I ask what the stipulations of the certificate are?
There, you almost made it.
It's okay. I'm not a water expert by any means.
So I may have had some inaccurate information, so I don't have it in front of me, but our water resources consultant, Mark Holmes, was under the assumption that the state knew about the arsenic, required treatment if it exceeds the 10 parts per billion. And he thought that there was a requirement from the state that there would need to be an HOA formed and an annual inspection and certification of those treatment systems as long as they exceeded the limits. But we can verify that information if we need to. It shouldn't affect the town's regulation because all of that I just stated was tied into the state issuing the certificate of assured water supply under their authority. And the certificate has been issued. We've verified that they do have a certificate from the state.
Would it be unfair to request that that be put on the disclaimer such as the processing plant? Jack's not listening to me.
I'm sorry, what?
See?
My phone was going off. I had to silence it.
I said, would it be, could it be appropriate to ask that that be written in?
Andrew?
Hola, Andrew.
Now I have to unmute. It certainly is a stipulation that you can make as part of your approval. I'm not sure if they can put it on a plat note is probably the most appropriate place to put it. And I guess the condition that we're talking about is at the condition of approval includes complying with all conditions of the certificate issued by ADWR. Is that essentially what we want to do?
What I would like in a perfect world is a disclaimer where, I don't know, where the other one said it would be regarding the processing plant, that the arsenic levels are high, but they're following ADWR's recommendation regarding parts per billion. Is that fair to ask?
Councilmember Perkins, the applicant did confirm that he will be installing filtration systems in each one of the homes. He mentioned that at the Planning Commission, and it is going to be stipulated in the final plat.
Perfect. That's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, that's what I needed. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Bob, you got
Nope.
anything for the, anything over here for, thank you, thank you. Okay, now we're gonna open a public hearing. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make comments about this project? Yes, sir.
Did I hear that this project?
I'm sorry, but please just restate your name again.
Jim Bonetti.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did I hear that this project here was built next to a slaughterhouse?
Yes, sir.
Do they understand that the slaughterhouse will smell badly?
Yes, sir.
Crime, I think it's an issue. I think it's misplaced. Maybe the project is misplaced, but I sure would want to live by a slaughterhouse. Also, the water. You get a certain amount of arsenic in it. I guess it's allowable levels for people to drink this. Or are they going to charge the homeowners to clean the water or anything like that?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I don't know the particulars.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please come up. And please restate your name.
My name's Chris Johnson, and about the slaughterhouse, there is an Arizona company here down in Phoenix, and I know all the proprietors of it, but they have special fogging systems that stop, and they go to landfills all over the country, and they stop the smell right at the fog that they produce. And very effective, and I've done some testing in regards to that, and shows really good results.
Okay, thank you. Yes? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, Jay Bates, Council, Right Homes. One thing we failed to mention, when we did the test on the well, and then we put the filtration system on the well and tested it, it mitigated the arsenic to 0. So it took to nothing. And we will be putting it in all the houses, all 15, regardless of what their well tests.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And that's at no expense to the homeowner? You're gonna
No.
bear the cost of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Anything else for Mr. Bates? Thank you.
Got off easy.
Any other comments? Okay, this time we're gonna close the public hearing. Is there any other discussion from council before we entertain a motion?
Nope.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the Homestead subdivision preliminary plat.
With finish. With the added condition.
with the conditions in attachment 1 and other stipulations made by council members.
Motion made, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, public hearing consideration possible action regarding application from Circle K for a new series 010 liquor license.
She should have a
We're
row and
lucky we
safely
got her
named
away from the
after her.
ball game.
All about the alcohol. That's right. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. This item is a request on behalf of Maria Danielle Burgess with Circle K for a new Series 10 liquor license. Maria has applied with the state for a new Series 10 beer and wine store liquor license. This non-transferable, off-sale retail privileged liquor license allows a retail store to sell beer and wine. Police, fire, planning departments have all reviewed the application and offered no comments. Staff did post the vacant lot with the necessary notice to meet the required 20-day period, and as of today, staff has not received any written arguments in favor of or in opposition to the application. We do have Tom Myers, a representative of Circle K. He is on Zoom. If there is any questions for him, but I will open it up to questions for staff.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
How many liquor licenses do we have in Chino?
That is a great question that I
What?
don't know off the top of my head.
How about 24 in a 5-mile stretch?
Okay.
And then carry out 7?
And then what? Sorry.
Carry out liquor, that, the 24 includes restaurants.
Okay.
So then you have 7 carry out. And that's just in a 5-mile stretch from Lucy's to Gab's Eatery.
Lucy's to Gabby's, is that what you said?
Yeah, the old bonfire.
Mhm.
And you don't know how many how many licenses the town can have?
So that's actually up to the state. They are the ones that actually issue liquor licenses. The town council is just a recommending body back to the liquor board themselves.
Okay.
So there's no limit that we have. That's up to the state to issue and not issue.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
More than Tough Sheds.
Public storages.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant via Zoom from the council? No.
This is for the one on 3, right?
No, it'd be on
The
the
new
outer
one?
loop or
Yep.
Fort South.
Four South.
Got it. Perfect, thank you.
Across from Grace Street.
Makes sense.
Any questions from Annie or Bob for the applicant?
No.
Okay, then we're gonna open a public hearing. Is there any questions from the public or statements? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I recommend approval for a new Series 010 liquor license for Circle K.
Motion made, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's one.
Was that a nay down there, Bob?
That was.
Okay, thank you. 1 nay. Mrs. Phillips?
Take it away, Sherry.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned.
Not bad.
That was easy peasy.
I expected more out of the call to public.
I think they're starting to realize that we don't have any authority.
How many times do we have to tell them?
Well, a couple of them recognized it, and the other things were just information.